I just can't help myself every time I shop for brushes. Seriously, it's like an addiction. You felt it too, haven't you? That surge of excitement as you scroll through endless selection of premium brushes in nearly every online store. Yeah, it's like walking into an artist's candy shop. Throughout my career, I've spent thousands of dollars on the finest brushes. I'm obsessed with them. From Rosemary brushes to Da Vinci, Raphael, and more, each one feels like a treasure in my collection. Now, here's the thing. I've always stood by this idea. To create top-notch art, you need top-notch tools. That makes sense, right? But is that really the truth? Could there be more to it? Let's find out in this video. If you have been following my journey for a while, you already know one thing about me. I'm obsessed with detail. Whether it's capturing the tiniest nuance of achieving razor-sharp edges, I need brushes that can keep up with my demand for precision and consistency. Not every brush can do that, but I have found my favorites, the ones I swear by at Rosemary and Co. Now, here's the deal. Rosemary and Co offers a variety of brushes, including some budget-friendly options. But like with any art supply brand, the natural hair brushes are the premium choice, and yes, they are on the pricier side. Still, they're worth every penny for quality they deliver. Since I always prefer these brushes, in this video, I'll be treating Rosemary brushes, forgive me, I hope they don't hold it against me, as equivalent to pricier natural hair brushes from other brands. Let me start with round pointed brushes, which I frequently use for painting light reflections, textures, and the tiniest details in my work. I was inspired recently by Will St. John, who uses Rosemary Series 33 Kolinsky sable pointed brushes for his art. Interestingly, he not only uses them for intricate detail work, but also paints entire pieces with them. This approach gives his paintings a unique texture and finish. Now, let's talk about Kolinsky sable brushes. These beauties are the gold standard of natural hair brushes. Crafted from pure sable hair, they are as good as it gets. If you're serious about painting, you got to try them. Sure, they're not the cheapest option out there, but once you experience the precision and softness they offer, you'll understand why they are so beloved by professionals. As always, there's a catch though. Natural hair brushes don't last forever, especially if you're painting on rougher canvases. The fine sable hairs can wear down over time, and eventually they lose the pristine shape. But let's be real, when you're getting brushes that starts at $10 for the tiniest sizes, and can go up to $200, $300, or even $400 for the larger ones, you are investing in the creme de la creme of painting tools. Alright my mates, let's talk brushes, because if you're anything like me, you are always on the prowl for that perfect blend of quality and affordability. I mean, who doesn't love discovering a new tool that not only feels great, but also doesn't break the bank, right? Recently I was scrolling through Amazon and I stumbled upon the golden maple detailed brushes. A whole set for under $17. That's less than $2 per brush, which is pretty much a dream come true for someone who constantly craves experimenting with the new art supplies. Now, I'll be honest, at that price point I didn't expect these brushes to knock my socks off. Well, guess what? These brushes didn't just meet my expectations, they blew right past them. The synthetic bristles feel surprisingly sturdy, and the best of all, they hold their shape like a champ's even after multiple washes. Here's another bonus. The handle design is spot on. They have a triangular grip area that just fits your fingers perfectly, making it so much easier to get precise strokes without your hand cramping up. I used to be a hardcore fan of extra long brushes, the kind that stretch out to around 11 inches, but this experience totally changed my perspective. The standard long handle on these brushes still gives me all the control I need. To show you how versatile they are, I painted the entire color layer using just these brushes. Imagine how handy they would be for delicate details, intricate highlights, or when you are tackling those tricky sections of a portrait or still life. It is honestly such a treat to work with a brush that can deliver a consistent performance at a fraction of the price of some high-end brands. So, if you're looking to expand your toolkit without putting the huge dent into your wallet, these golden maple detail brushes are a fantastic find. They'll fit right into your painting process, and you may just find yourself reaching for them more often than you would expect. In my book, under 17 bucks for a solid set of brushes is a total win, and I wouldn't hesitate to recommend them to anyone eager to improve their detail work. Now, one of the real game changers in achieving a lifelike painting is mastering the art of blending, creating those silky smooth transitions between colors, lights, and shadows that bring your work to life. Over time, I've experimented with countless brushes, and natural brushes really stand out. I used to rely on flat pure sable brushes from Van Gogh. Picture this: genuine sable bristles that starts around 10 bucks for a tiny brush and can go all the way up to 400 bucks for a giant one. It may sound wild, but these brushes were worth every penny for how perfectly they handled blending. Unfortunately, you can't track down this particular brand anymore. But that's not what matters. What matters is that pure sable hair feels like it was custom designed for blending, helping you fine-tune every subtle shift in tone until your painting particularly radiates depth and realism. Of course, there's always a catch. Flat sable brushes tend to wear out faster than their round counterparts, and as time goes on, they stiffen up. The result? Blending becomes less of joyful, flowing process and more of frustrating chore. Given how hard these brushes are to find and how expensive they can be, I knew I had to find a solid alternative that didn't break the bank. After exploring my options, I ended up coming right back to a trusted favorite, Rosemary brushes. They've got a flat Eclipse series that absolutely nails it. These synthetic bristles really do feel like natural hair, soft and responsive enough for seamless blending. The real stars of the show are the extra long combers. Their extended length and flat profile give them a springy flexibility that makes blending buttery smooth. On top of that, their sharp, straight edges let you paint crisp lines and detail edges whenever you need to push your realism even further. And the price? A large Eclipse brush would set you back around 35 bucks, which sounds pretty fantastic compared to the cost of pure sable. They are reliable, accessible, and pleasure to use, whether you are softly blending subtle transitions or laying down defined strokes. These brushes have quickly become a staple in my studio, helping me bring out the very best in every painting I create. Up until now, I've been talking about higher-end brand-name brushes. So, let's switch gears and look at more affordable options that can still stand in for pricier tools. I've had several Dynasty Fox Squirrel brushes in my collection for quite some time, and I've noticed myself reaching for them more and more, both for blending and for applying paint. Since they are made with synthetic hair that nicely mimic the look of natural hair and they come in attractive silver gray tones, I decided to pick up a complete set. Again, I hit Amazon and discovered the Artify 24 set. Talk about a sweet deal. For around 35 bucks, you don't just get a handful of brushes, you get a fully loaded kit. Multiple brush shapes and sizes, a sturdy palette knife for mixing your paints like a pro, and a convenient roll-up case that keeps your tools organized and ready to go. This is perfect if you like to keep your supplies neat and tidy, or if you are working in a small studio or even in a tiny apartment. With this set in your drawer, you got the flexibility to paint just about anything that comes to mind. Let's break it down. Big brushes for broad backgrounds and varnishing, round and pointed brushes for those tiny little details, fan brushes for blending that give your work that smooth, polished look, and flat brushes for nailing those sharp, precise edges. It is the kind of all-in-one collection that makes you wonder how you ever got by with just a few random brushes. Now here's the kicker. Compare the cost of a single large sable brush to the biggest synthetic brush in this set. The natural option might still be considered the gold standard by some, but man, sable brushes will leave your wallet crying. And honestly, the difference in quality isn't as huge as you might think. For a fraction of the price, these synthetics brushes hold their own. It's almost too good to be true, right? Bottom line, for just 35 bucks you're set. You can paint an entire masterpiece with what's included. No extra tools, no extra purchases, just grab a canvas and get started. This is a seriously cool option for beginners building their first kit, seasoned artists wanting a reliable backup set, or anyone looking to stretch their budget without sacrificing quality. Alright, that wraps it up for today's video. You probably saw this coming, but it's worth saying. Even the most expensive brush won't magically make you a pro if the skill isn't there to begin with. If you already know your way around a canvas, you can turn out a masterpiece with far more affordable tools. Hopefully, after watching, you feel more confident about picking the brushes that suit you best. Of course, the real key is experimenting with a bunch of different brush types yourself, because that's the only way to discover which ones really click for you. Thanks so much for tuning in, my mates. You can find all the brush links I mentioned down in the description. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and drop a like. And if you are hungry for more, go ahead and join my community on YouTube or Patreon, where there's a ton of extra material, like video tutorials you won't find anywhere else. Thanks everyone, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya, bye bye.